Welcome to the Lean Out Your Business podcast, a show dedicated to helping entrepreneurs accelerate business growth and simplify success. I'm your host, Krista Grasso, and I've been working with businesses for more than 2 decades to help them lean out and optimize what's working while eliminating anything that's not adding value. So if you are ready to get more time back in your day, more profit in your business, and to do business differently, growing and scaling on your terms, let's dive into today's episode. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the biggest misperceptions that I see related to zone of genius. And this, unfortunately, can keep a lot of business owners stuck, not realizing why they're not moving forward in their business. As I'm getting ready to be hosting my next in-person retreat at the end of March, I've been going back through all of the incredible testimonials that the attendees of my last retreat left. And someone said something that really got me thinking about Zone of Genius. She had kicked off her testimonial by saying, "I want to tell you why a business strategist spent an entire week away from my clients at a business strategy retreat." And she went on to share a lot of really interesting and insightful things. Highly recommend you head over to the retreat page, which is leanoutmethod.com/amplify, and check out her testimonial. And while you're there, register to join us and we can spend 3 full days together in person. But what really struck me about what she had said is this. She is one of the most brilliant marketing strategists that I know. She is my trusted go-to person whenever I have questions and whenever I have someone that I want to talk something out with or collaborate with. And yet she came to my retreat to work on that for her business. And here's the thing with Zone of Genius. Our zone of genius, that thing that we do best, the thing that we love to do most, the thing that our clients look at us like we are magical unicorns for being able to do, those things that we do so well for others, we typically do not do well for ourselves. And I think that is something that can hold people back because we have this feeling that if I'm this incredible strategist, or I'm this brilliant coach, or I'm this amazing growth expert, or whatever your area of expertise is for other people, that we should be able to do that for ourselves. We should be able to do that and apply that in our own business. And from my experience and from a lot of the conversations I've been having with people, Zone of Genius just simply doesn't work that way. We've all heard like the cobbler has no shoes and all of those different analogies and sayings where people are so busy doing things for others that they don't take the time to do them for themselves. And I think that's very true. But I also think that it's really hard to do things for ourselves in the same way it is for our clients. For our clients, we have the perspective of being on the outside looking in. We can be very objective. We can see things that are very hard for the person who's on the inside to see because things feel very personal to the person on the inside. They're focused on things in such a way that they don't always see how all the bits and pieces interconnect together, or they may have limiting beliefs or prior experiences that cause different perceptions that make them think something isn't possible, or make them feel like I've already done that, tried that, not going to work for me. When the reality is it's the tiniest little shift that from the outside looking in can be really easy to see, but from the inside looking out can be really difficult to see. And so I don't think it's just that we don't take the time to do in our business the things we do for our clients. I think it's that our zone of genius and the thing we do so well for others is not our zone of genius in our business. Our zone of genius in our business is typically being the amazing visionary that we are, which might be super different from what you do for your clients. For a lot of my clients, I do operations. I do a lot of strategy. I do a lot of operations. As I've shared before, some of my clients consider me their CMO. Some consider me their COO when I go in and work with them on a fractional basis. I call myself a CSOO, Chief Strategy and Operating Officer. But that being said, those same things that I do in other people's businesses, I have people to do them in my own business. And it took me a really long time to realize that I should hire people to do those things in my business because they're my zone of genius. They're what I do better than most other people. They're what I love to do. They're what I'm excellent at, right? There's all of these different things that made me feel like I should be the one to do those in my own business. It can be incredibly freeing to realize that that thing that you do so well for others does not have to be something that you do for yourself, and that you can bring people in to support you with those things in your business, or you can go to experiences like the retreat, which this person had attended. So you put yourself in a place where you not only have the dedicated space and time to work on those things that you might not give yourself time to do in your own business, but also you have the opinion in the perspective of the other people who are in attendance, the person who's leading and hosting the retreat. You have other outside perspectives that help you see things that you would see for your client, but that it's really hard to see for yourself. And so I just think that this is something to really reflect on is, what do you consider to be your zone of genius? What is that thing that you just do so incredibly well for your clients? And get really honest with yourself about, is it something that you do as well for yourself? Is it something that you even do at all for yourself? Do you make the space to actually do it for yourself? And if you do, could you benefit from having somebody else give you another perspective or give you feedback and insight into what you're doing because you're so close to it that maybe there's something you're not seeing? That's why I think every coach should have a coach. It's why I think every strategist should have a strategist. Not only is it a way to continue to grow, but it's simply accepting that we can't do for ourselves the same things that we do for others, and that our zone of genius for others is not our zone of genius for ourselves. So I hope you got a lot of value out of this short little episode on some of the things that I've been thinking on as I'm getting ready for my upcoming retreat. And I would absolutely love to extend an invitation to join me. We just have a few seats left at the time that I'm recording this. As always, I keep every experience that I do really small circle. That way we can dig super deep into your business. We can actually spend the time to look at your strategy, to make sure what you're doing is in alignment, to make sure what you're doing is lean and that you're not working more than you need to. And most importantly, what you're going to walk away with and what we're focused on together is looking at those big, bold goals and revenue targets that you have for the year and putting together your end-to-end marketing strategy and plan around it. And then looking at your content that you're producing, the thought leadership that you're putting out there, and putting together a really lean and leveraged plan around it so that you leave really clear on exactly what you're doing for marketing, exactly what you're doing for content. And when you get back, you could hand that off to your team so they could go ahead and actually implement it. And you could keep your focus on your brilliant visionary work. So if you would like to learn more and grab one of those last few seats, head over to leanoutmethod.com/amplify. And as always, if you have questions, you could put time on my calendar anytime at leanoutmethod.com/consult. I will see you again next week. And maybe, just maybe, I will see you in person at the end of March for the Amplify retreat. Thank you for joining me for another episode of the Lean Out Your Business podcast. I hope you got a lot of value and actionable insights from today's show, and would love if you take a moment to leave us a review. If you have any questions on today's episode or on how to lean out your business, join us over in our private Facebook community, where every week we do live training and Q&A, and I'd love to have you be part of the conversation. Head to leanoutmethod.com/group to join us. And before you go, be sure to subscribe to the show so you're the first to know when we release a new episode. We'll see you next week.